Hi, my name is Ellie. I'm the Head of Customer Success here at Canditech, and thanks so much for taking the time to learn a little bit more about our platform. In a nutshell, Canditech is a very holistic platform that allows you to evaluate both hard and soft skills for any position within your company. We provide a full set of solutions, including skills assessments, job simulations, video interviews, pre-screening chatbots, and much more, all within one place, which is of course also integrated with your ATS. In this short video, we'll be taking a deep dive into the platform, in particular taking a look at the candidate experience, the results, our fully customizable library, and also some of our new AI features. Let's jump into things. So this is the Canditech platform. The platform was really designed with simplicity in mind. So when you're here, you only ever have two tabs. You have your assessments and you have your candidates, and that is it. In your assessments window, you're going to see all your active assessments or that have been shared with you in accordance to your user permissions. You'll also see some very basic information here, including the average score, the average time it took candidates to complete the test. You'll see how many candidates have completed the test, and we also have a scoring histogram here as well. When it comes to sending invitations, we are integrated with all of the major ATSs, so you're going to be able to send invitations directly from your ATS, as well as receive all the results directly back into your ATS. That being said, you can also use Canditech as a standalone platform, and you can send invitations either via our embeddable direct link or directly through the platform via the candidate's email address. Another thing we can do is we can take a look at the candidate experience. Now, when it comes to candidate experience, it's all about you guys. So this can be your logo, your background, it can be an image, it can be a video just like this. And all the text here is 100% customizable, so you can really welcome the candidate in with your own tonality. We also have here a welcome video. And something like this from the branding team can work really well. You can also have the hiring manager come on and give a personal welcome to your candidates. Next up, we're going to provide some assessment instructions for the candidate to get them set up for success. Now, these are all done automatically, so it's nothing you, your team, hiring managers, or anyone needs to worry about. We'll also, of course, provide a support contact for your candidates as well. Next up, we could not be talking about online assessments without talking about cheating prevention tools. So when it comes to proctoring, we are monitoring lots of things simultaneously. Things like copy-paste detection, tab switching detection, IP address tracking, webcam snapshots, and everything simultaneously, so you can really rely on the results of the test. As with anything in Canditech, these are all 100% customizable, so you can choose what you do and what you don't want to permit for your candidates throughout their test. And lastly, the candidates are going to have a little summary here so they know what's coming up in the test. Our platform is also WCAG 2.2 web accessibility compliant, meaning that it comes embedded with a bunch of assistive technologies, things like screen readers, text readers, custom colors, font sizing. Your candidates can also come and browse via profile here as well. So now we're inside the test itself, and again, your logo, your color scheme. Within this test, we have 4 sections, and each section is timed to give you a strict standardization, not just of the overall test time, but of the individual areas you want to be testing your candidates on. Now we're getting started with a scenario-based question. It could be it's your first month working in the role, and your manager's gone out of the office and they've asked you to complete this spreadsheet. So the candidate is going to start working directly inside the platform, and of course, everything is going to be checked and scored automatically. Yes, we want to check, can they work with spreadsheets, can we work with code, and so on and so forth. But in order to simulate the job as much as possible, here we have a follow-up question asking the candidate to write an email to share their insights and suggest action items. So we're going to check that the candidate can also understand what's going on in the data. So let's start completing this. Now, I want to show you what happens if I'm a candidate that is doing something I shouldn't be doing. So I'm coming over to this external source, we can call it. I'll come over here, give this a little copy. Now we'll go back to the test. And you'll see that as a candidate, I have this notification. Oops, tab change detected. We saw that, the hiring team have seen that. They're going to be made aware of this action. If I try and do a paste, I'm going to get a similar message. So these are in real-time notifications the candidate's going to get to let them know that the system sees what they're doing and everything is going to be recorded. Of course, every time one of these is triggered, you're going to be able to see it in the results page. We also have multiple choice questions, which are a really great way to ensure the candidate has all the necessary information and knowledge base that you need them to come in and to come and hit the ground running. And let's move on to the next section. So in this section, we have a marketing plan in which the candidate can watch a video. and then they can answer a follow-up question. So when it comes to customization, you can really bring your assessments to life and add your own videos, links, images, screenshots, data sets, and really build a test that closely mimics the challenges of the role as much as possible. This is going to give you the highest predictor for future job performance. Now we're moving a little bit more onto our technical side. So when it comes to SQL, we've got tons of ready-to-use sections in the library at all different levels, easy, moderate, and some more advanced sections. All of our sections in the library come with their data sets, but you can also upload your own data sets and really have the candidates write their queries based on the data they're going to be working with if they're to be successful at getting the job. So let's start completing this question. And now what I've done is I've called the user table. So let's say now as a candidate, I make a mistake. I'm going to get the relevant error message and I can then go and correct myself. And whilst these questions are all checked and scored automatically, this is also being recorded, meaning that hiring managers are going to be able to play this back, see everything and all the steps the candidate took in order to get to their answer, but of course in a fraction of the time. Moving on here, we have one of my favorite question types, which is of course video. Now video can be a really great way to ask a follow-up question to a technical question, or it can be used just to understand candidates' motivation, drive, passion, with very general questions as well. Candidate can stop recording, they can review their video, and provided they still have time, they can also record again. In this instance, let's move on to the next section. So lastly here, again, we have one of our coding questions. Again, loads of coding questions within the library, front-end questions, also back-end questions. You as a user can choose to allow the candidate to answer the question in their language of choice. And of course, we support all the major languages, or you can choose to just limit it to one or several languages. Of course, these are all checked and scored automatically. And again, this is all going to be recorded, so your hiring managers are going to be able to play back all the steps the candidate took in order to solve the question. Now, poking here on the right-hand side, we have our embedded ChatGPT and embedded Google as a feature. We are in 2025 and we understand that it's becoming increasingly important, not just to understand your candidates' hard and soft skills, but also understand how they can work with AI, understand their prompting skills. So this gives you the opportunity to really get into the mindset of the candidate and gives you a very holistic understanding of all of their abilities. Let's ask it a very basic question. And of course, everything is going to be monitored and everything is going to be displayed to you within the results page too. So now the AI is providing me with an answer. We'll go ahead and minimize it and let's go ahead and submit the assessment. All of your candidate results are going to come back into your candidates tab, and this is where all your candidate data is going to live across your account. We'll also send all the results directly back to the ATS. So within the ATS, you're going to see the candidate's total score. You'll see a section by section score, and you're going to see a link to see everything in a lot more detail as well. You can also come here and filter by your job, and then sort by score. And this is going to give you and your team a very data-driven, a very quick and a very objective way of understanding who are the candidates that have the highest chances to succeed in the role, and you can start prioritizing your candidates that way. Instead, let's take a look at the session that I just completed. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to sort this time by start time. And what I can see is very basic information, the total score, the section by section score, and so on and so forth. I can double click into it, and now we're going to see everything in a lot more detail. So the first thing I have is the total score, how that compares to other candidates that have already taken the test. And then on the left-hand side, I'm going to get my section by section breakdown, so I can see how the candidate performed and how they scored against others on every individual area I assessed the candidate on. Next up, we have more visual information just to show you again where your candidate sat against others that have taken your test. And further on here, we have our proctoring instructions. So if you're seeing all green, it's all good. It means that the system did not flag anything suspicious. If you see a red flag, we can click it, we can expand it out, and we can see everything that happened. So as you can see, not only was there a copy and paste, we're going to see exactly what was pasted and when. And we also have a red flag in the tab switching. So again, we can see what section the candidate was in. We can see how far into the test time they were and how long they were out before they returned down to the second. Next up, if you permitted your candidates to use ChatGPT and Google, you can again expand that out. We're going to see what section the candidate used it in. We'll see the prompt, we'll see the answer, and it will follow the whole conversation. We also have a comment section here, and you can also give the candidate a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Next up, we're going to see everything the candidate was asked, everything the candidate answered. It's been checked and scored automatically. You can also expand out every field and see exactly what the candidate put, exactly what the correct answer was. And you can also click this sheet and take a look and inspect all the formulas if you'd like to. When it comes to open text and video, either this is something your team can provide a manual scoring, and we've also just released our AI multi-agent scoring for both open text and video, which means that the entire test will be checked and scored automatically. So the first thing, of course, is you will always see the full candidate answer. And then below it, we have the AI results. We can see that the AI has scored me 2 out of 5 stars. You can then click here to expand out the AI results, and you can see that in this instance, I had 3 separate agents all running simultaneously. The first agent I had was language score, then custom agent score, and conflict resolution. For each agent, you can then expand again. We can see exactly why the AI provided the score that it did. So in this instance, I made 2 spelling mistakes, so it pulled out both of those and provided me a 4 out of 5. We can see that in the custom agent, there was 2 rules set, and as a candidate, I only met one of them, and so this one is a fail, this one is a pass. And we can also see that I didn't really resolve the conflict, I actually shifted the blame, and so it provided me with that score there. We can also down here see the video. And with the video, we're putting the video to transcript, and then we're running the AI through the transcript. So again, we can see I got 3 out of 5. We can expand it out. We can see both the language score and the custom agent score. Again, we can expand it out. And let's say, as an example, I actually thought this was really a 5. So I can fully customize this and update it. I can provide my updated score. I can say, this is really a 5 out of 5 for me. I can provide a reason why. Click submit. What we can now see is that the score was manually adjusted. We can see by which user. We can see what they changed the score from and to, as well as the feedback that they provided. Down here we have multiple choice questions. Again, you're going to be able to see what the candidate was asked, what they thought the right answer was, what the correct answer was, and you have all your scoring here as well. Next up, we have the SQL, which again, checked and scored automatically here, but you also have this nice play progress button where you can see all the steps the candidate took, as well as every time the candidate ran their code. And then lastly, down here, we have our coding questions. So when it comes to coding questions, these are scored via test cases, meaning if the candidate did not get 100% correct scoring for each question, you're going to be able to click out every test case and understand where the candidate got it wrong and where their scoring came off. And you've also got this play progress button here, so you can follow all the steps the candidate took and see the full thought process of the candidate here as well. Also within the Canditech platform, we're providing you a lot of analytics, information, statistics, and data, everything from your candidate engagement funnels, passed, rejected, open rates, and so on and so forth. We can even say what days of the week, times of the day, devices, and also your global distribution of your candidates. And this information is available across the account level, per assessment level, and we also have exportable, downloadable Excel reports that you can pull from the account at any time. Next up, let's take a look at the Canditech library. Now, we have a library of over 500 ready-to-use sections, everything of which is overseen by our head of test development, Dr. Morancella, who has a PhD in cognitive psychology, meaning that it stands with the highest levels of validity and reliability. We'll start by providing an assessment title. And from here, I'm going to have 2 options. Either I can head to the library, I can build something from scratch, or I can do a hybrid of everything. So let's go into the library. Now the library is split into these different areas here. The first area we have is job-specific skills. So these are hard skills, soft skills, professional skills pertaining to a bunch of different job categories. So we got admin, customer-facing, business and finance, data, IT, marketing, R&D, sales, etc. Let's start with administration. What it's going to do now is it's going to pull up all the sections that we have under this category. Now for each section, you're going to be able to see how long it is. You'll see the difficulty level. We've got easy, moderate, and hard. You'll also see what question types are included. You can move your mouse over the eye to see a very quick snapshot of what's being evaluated, as well as see a full preview of all the questions and answers here too. So for example, we have everything from 5-minute basic knowledge sections to administration-based video questions to prioritization tasks, and then we're getting more into the job simulations and scenarios. So for example, let's say I want to take this section I can just click add questions and start adding it into my builder. From here, I can make any adjustments and any changes that I would like. Now, general rule in Canditech, when you want to do something, just move your mouse closer to what you want to change and you'll probably find the option to do so. This is a free text box, so I can really add and adjust any way that I'd like. We also have an AI assistant here, which is great to help you create or edit content, improve writing, remove redundancy, change tone. You can even translate it into a bunch of languages as well. Another thing we can do is also preview or edit any of the questions themselves. Or I could say, actually, I don't need this question. I want to remove that, no problem at all. And I can also come and add my own questions here. So here are all the question types we support. For example, multiple choice, open text, video. Let's say I wanted to add a video. I can also choose how long I want the candidate to answer for. Click create, and now I can come and drag and drop that to anywhere that I want it to be. I can also come and set my AI scoring as well. So the first thing I want to do is find an example of an open text or video question that I would like to set my AI scoring for. And then I want to click on the edit pencil and then navigate to the second tab here, which is all around AI auto scoring. From here, you're going to find three options. We have example answers, pre-built agents, or build custom agents. And in most of the cases, the built customized agents are probably going to be the best option. They're essentially going to allow you to put any detail, any things that you would like the candidate to include in their answer, and essentially build yourself a fully customized scorecard. So I could, for example, say, I want that answer to make sure that it mentions churn in Q2. And I can add that rule and I can leave it as that, or I can keep going. So let's say I also want to make sure that the answer mentions providing a refund for the customer. Or I can be a little bit more general and I could say make sure the answer is polite. Or I could be very specific. I could say make sure that the answer mentions business conclusion to, pause campaign number 7. And I can keep going. I can add as many rules as I would like. I can also add very complex or detailed rules that are many, many lines, or I can leave them just as simple one-liners. The next thing I can do is I can also select one of our pre-built agents. So these are pre-built agents that our team have created. We know how to evaluate in a very deep scale. Things like conflict resolution, for example, which can be great for customer-facing roles, support roles, objection handling, which is going to be great for sales roles. Or we can also have language proficiency, which can be set in English or in any other language that you are recruiting for. The last rule we have here is to provide example answers. So this is going to be great for high volume positions. Maybe there's an assessment that you've already had a lot of candidates complete the assessment. Your managers have scored those. You can click a button and automatically move these as sample answers. And of course, the more answers that you provide, the more accurate the AI is going to be. Also within the library, we have cognitive skills. So these are general aptitudes, things like attention to detail, core intelligence, critical thinking, effective communication, numerical reasoning, integrity, and so on and so forth. These are great general aptitudes and can really help you understand your candidate's general skills. Let's say I wanted to add this section. Now I can add that in. Amazing. We also host within the library personality tests. We host the Big Five, the DISC model, and the Enneagram, and these can be really good to not only help you evaluate candidates, but also help you understand how to work better with these candidates should they be lucky enough to get the position within your company. When it comes to the results, we're going to provide all the insights in a graph here. We'll then break down every area and explain what are the characteristics, the professional implications, areas for improvement. We will also suggest interview questions as well as communication style tips based on this profile. We also have sections for leadership and management as well as generic skills here as well. So let's add another section here. Great. So I can keep on building. I can also make any edits that I would like to with the time as well. Just click there. Let's say I wanted to add a little bit of extra time for the candidate here. And I can also play around with the scoring attribution. So we want to make sure that the scoring is reflecting the priorities of the role. If any section is more important than the others, you can simply untoggle this and set the scoring as you would like. Lastly, we have our AI assessment builder, which is designed to help hiring teams build custom assessments within minutes. So the first thing we'll do is it's going to ask me what type of role I'm hiring for. If I find the role here in the list, I can just click it. I can also free text in the box down here as well. Next up, what it's going to do is prompt me to either provide it with the URL of a job description, copy and paste some of the information from the JD, or I can just start giving it a brief summary of the types of skills that I'm going to be evaluating in. So let's get started. From there, it will just provide me with a little summary of what it understood. I can also add additional information if I'd like to, or I can just say, it looks good, please build. What it's going to do now is it's going to run to the library and it's going to look through our over 500 ready-to-use sections, and it's also going to match it up with millions of data points that we have from candidates that have already completed the tests, and it's going to look to pull the most relevant sections into a test for me. Perfect. So now it's giving me a little summary. And I can say, that's great, let's start building it. Or maybe I want to say, I also want to understand soft skills. So please add video questions. Great, so now it's added a video question and I can keep speaking to it, keep prompting the assessment, or I can say, that's good, please start building. It's now going to show me a little video that I can use just to understand how to edit it and customize it, or we can click the purple button. I'm going to give myself 5 stars. And here we have it. The test is already built into the assessment builder. And again, as always, you can come make any customizations, any edits, any changes, add your own questions, play around with the timing, the points, and so on and so forth. And whenever you're ready, you can just send it to your candidates. I hope that was helpful to give you a little bit more insight into our platform. And if you're looking for more information or would like to take Canditech for a test drive, head on over to canditech.io to schedule a meeting with either myself and my team. We would love to connect with you and answer any questions that you have. Thanks again and see you next time.